What is up, guys? I'm back, and as you can see, I've got new digs. Now, in these past 3 years, it has been quite a journey, to be completely honest. However, the story I'm gonna save for, you know, in a little bit, because part of it is actually not my own. It's actually my former boss's story. Like I said, I'll get into that in a little bit. However, first, I want to address how I'm coming back. Now, this isn't a full comeback, not just yet. The full comeback will be actually somewhere between the first Monday of October, October 3rd, which so happens to be my birthday, and January 1st, or very close enough to it, uh, the first Monday of 2022 or 2023. Excuse me. We're in 2022. I'm a year behind. So pretty much that will be my full comeback is sometime there. However, in the past 8 months, I have been making a few videos here and there wanting to do a comeback setup. And yeah, it's just one of those things where it never felt like the right time to come back. It never did. But you know, I found a way to do it. And that way is actually now for the next 6 days, including today, of course. Now, what I'm going to be doing is tonight at 6 p.m. By the way, you can probably guess as to what I'm going to be doing. So, yeah, and I don't know if you can see him very well, but, right here, yeah. Anyways, so what I'm going to be doing is TCG openings, trading card game openings, trading cards, basically. And it's going to start out with Pokemon, because that's pretty much what I wanted to do from the start, was just Pokemon. And then I expanded it to a lot of different other types of trading cards. Dragon Ball Super, for instance, Magic the Gathering, even a couple of ones that I didn't even know existed when you call them collectible cards, though. That's when it's different. Now, one thing that I am going to be doing is that is going to be starting up at 6 tonight. For the next 3 days, it's only going to be one video. So the second, third, and fourth will be one video apiece. So yeah, that would be like that. No, wait. Second, third, fourth, and fifth. So the next 4 days will be like that. And then day 6 will be the same as today, where it's the last pre-made video, and then a video that I'm going to be making here shortly. That one will be at 6 p.m. on July 6th. And then, well, I'll let that video explain everything else. So, one of the things that I wanted to do right now is actually take the time to sit you down and regale you a little bit of a story. Now, this story has a beginning, but the beginning is not mine to tell. However, I will do my best to tell it properly to the best of my knowledge. So, this story actually begins in 2005. And I'm going to try and be quick with it because, like I said, I don't know all the details, so I'm pretty much just going to be skimming through a lot of things. Um, and this does actually involve why I gave up YouTube, gave up, quote unquote, um, back in middle of 2019. So in 2005, the store I was working at was just being built. Now, at that point in time, my former boss, her husband at the time, her son, and her daughter-in-law, the son's wife, had owned two separate subways in the county of Charlotte County here in Florida. Now, they found a little area called Deep Creek, and they decided to bring Subway to Deep Creek. Now, at that point in time, they were having fun, kind of competing against each other, against each store, here's my sales, no, here's my sales, here's how few customers I had, but I had more sales than you guys, different things like that. And, they had fun with it. Well, between then and 2011, when I come along, they had three significant, interesting points in history happen. Point number one is, for one reason or another, whether they got bored of it or because point number two happened, they decided to sell off all three subways that they had control of. Point number two was the fact that my former boss's husband passed away. And then, of course, point number three being the fact that somewhere before my joining them at Deep Creek Subway, the lady that they sold that store to had some type of complication happen to her, and she had to sell the store back to them. The complication I have heard is from cancer, it's from pregnancy, it's from just plain all-out bloated feet. I've heard all three of those versions of it, but at the same time, she had passed away after that to cancer, so I'm assuming, without full knowledge of the details, that it was due to cancer. She just, couldn't do anything, so she decided to sell the store back. So, anyways, I arrive in 2011, and yeah, pretty much I start working there in 2011. Worked my way through all the way up to 2019. Middle of 2019, they decided, you know what? We have our lease renewal coming up. And you know what's better than staying Subway? Getting rid of the Subway franchise name and going independent. Now, Subway at that point in time was having a lot of trouble. If you didn't really catch on in the past year or two, they've kind of started doing the refresh crap that they've been doing. Well, yeah, they've had a lot of trouble. And it was mostly because of an app that they literally forced onto the management and upper management of all of their stores called Subventory. Now, another one would actually have been their temperature checker, which would have been another app altogether that they would have forced onto their management and upper management. So the Subventory, let's just say I'm glad I had two phones, because I was able to use one phone for Subventory and the other phone was my personal phone. The phone that I had on Subventory was a service turned off phone to where I could only use it on Wi-Fi. So pretty much, yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where, I didn't want it on my phone because my phone was already running out of space. And, this is back, this is back in 2018 when storage space could be, you know, upwards of 64, maybe 128 gig. And just because of maybe like 4 or 5 apps that are called bloat apps, if you don't know what they are, look them up, because they're on your phone when you first buy it, like Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, different things like that, Instagram. They're called bloat apps for a reason, because you cannot delete them. You can disable them, but you can't get rid of them. And that kills your storage. And which is, I've never really had, a good enough storage system. I've never really had a good enough phone to where I would have the SD card be as big as it needed to be. So I was always running out of storage space. And that was the icing on the cake for me. But because of that and a lot of other things that have been happening with Subway since the whole Jared Fogle fiasco, Subway had been going downhill, and a lot of people were pulling out of the franchise. Now, there was one person in particular that actually took every single store that he owned and flipped them independent sub shops, just like how we had done in middle of 2019. So he had about somewhere between 10 and 20 stores that he just flipped independent. And this is why, this and a lot of other stuff is why Subway went with the whole refresh to be fresh campaign that they've been going on for the better part of a year now. Now, one of the things that we did was when we flipped over, we just, we didn't even close down. We just said, to hell with Subway, kick rocks. We're keeping our location and we're repainting over the wallpaper. There was actually a little corner right next to our hot well, which is where we have all the meatballs, the soups, and everything like that, that you can still see the Subway wallpaper. But that's neither here nor there at this moment. But yeah, so middle of 2019, we completely shut down as Subway and reopened pretty much the next day as Deep Creek Subs. Now, the reason why I'm actually giving these locations is because I'm no longer associated with the Deep Creek area or Charlotte County area any longer. So, and I'm getting to that here momentarily. Now, the reason why the last video on this channel is Pokemon Yellow Lock, the finale, is because I wanted to take that opportunity to get used to working for an independent store. I figured, okay, a couple weeks, couple months, and, then I'll be back. Well, then COPPA hit. Now, if you don't remember what COPPA is the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. And the way it was literally going to destroy small channels like mine. I mean, absolutely 100% destroy channels like mine. Now, one of the things that I wanted to, get out there and make clear was the fact that, channels like mine would be absolutely disintegrated just because, whether the game has cursing in it or not, whether I'm cursing in that video or not, that game would be labeled as a children's game and made for kids, which means I could never get monetization back on this channel unless I got rid of video games altogether. Yeah, it was that bad. It would have been that bad. I mean, seriously, it was going to be that bad. But at the same time, I misread a few things. So I made a second video. And next thing I know, I'm just sitting there waiting on COPPA to finally hit. So I figured, you know what? Okay, I'm going to wait for February 2020 to make my comeback. I'm going to wait. I'm going to see what happens with COPPA. See what happens. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. So I figured, you know what? I'm just gonna, I'll play it by ear. I'll start getting in a little bit more, you know, with the recordings, because I was doing Quantum Break, and I got 4 videos in, and I'm just sitting there. It's like, okay, you know, February comes and goes, and then the lockdowns hit, and the shelter in places hit. I mean, thank God here in Florida it was more sheltered in place than lockdown. But then I'm sitting there thinking, you know what? Wow, that's I better focus on this. I better focus on making enough money to survive, because I'm an essential worker. My mom, who is still currently in eye care, you know, she wasn't fully classified as a essential worker. You know, my stepfather, because he was working, you know, retail, you know, wasn't, you know, he was classified as an essential worker, but my mom wasn't, and it was impacting her. So I figured, you know what, I'm just going to stick it out. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna stick it out, you know, ride this wave, you know, do what I need to do. You know, I'll make my comeback some other time, you know, after all these lockdowns, because, you know, 2 weeks to slow the curve, 2 weeks to slow the spread, you know, 2 weeks to flatten the curve, 15 days. Yeah. Then that turned into a couple months, and I thought, okay, you know what, I'm done. You know, I think I'm gonna start making my comeback. George Floyd. Floyd happened. For 24 hours. For 24 hours. We had the political left, the political center, the political right, and everyone in between across the globe united as one. In 24 hours, the riots started. Now, before I get in trouble with the YouTube algorithm, with the YouTube gods, I will say that while, yes, the protests for Black Lives Matter were mostly peaceful, you still had a certain percentage of those riots, of those protests, turn riotous and cause over $2 billion, billion with a B, in damages. Cause thousands, if not tens of thousands, of officer and civilian injuries. Whether they supported Black Lives Matter or not doesn't matter. Then you had around 30 to 40 people die during those riots, including someone, David Dorn, who went to a friend's shop, a pawn shop, mind you, went to a friend's shop to help protect it from looters, and took one to the chest over a fucking TV. You don't know the story, look it up. Because trust me, he got shot over a TV. Now, a lot of people will sit there and say, well, you shouldn't be naked. It doesn't matter. He shouldn't be protecting the store. They were insurance. Well, how do you know that? How do you know they got insurance? How do you know they had insurance at that point in time? There was a firefighter who spent his life savings getting a bar set up. Not only was it burned and looted the night before, but they were talking to him about it the very next day. And people came in trying to steal his safe while being interviewed. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. If you can't denounce that, you don't deserve to live in America. That's pretty much all I'm going to say. But, I thought about it, and I thought, of course, you know what? I am going to make videos on this. Then I saw how people who were making videos on that were treated by YouTube's algorithm. And then I actually figured out the different game setting modes they have for YouTube. Obviously, you have easy mode, and that's if you're a girl and you're doing makeup tutorials. That's easy mode. Medium difficulty, however, is very easy would actually be being a young child and unboxing toys on YouTube Kids, or even here on YouTube. But pretty much unboxings and the mukbangs and the ASMRs, those are huge. Those are absolutely huge. Very easy mode. Easy mode would be, the beauticians of YouTube. Medium difficulty would be pretty much PewDiePie and Rooster Teeth and Markiplier and pretty much all of those that are already established, because of the early days of YouTube. They found their niche. They found that game. They found that video that made them go viral, that made them money and money and money, and then finally they're just like, you know what? I've got money. I'm going to make it rain. I'm going to make all the content I want to make. Yeah. While those of us are sitting down here saying, hey, throw me some content, by the way. Let me feed off you, please. Let me grab some of your subs so that way I can, kind of make it to where you are. Yeah. So, I decided against it. Because hard mode and extreme mode are the two settings that I would be engaging in. I've already been playing this YouTube algorithm on hard mode, and that is video games with or without commentary. Extreme mode is conservative commentary on any political topic. You want to have a liberal outlook on life? Yeah, you're automatically slotted in next to the beauticians. Easy mode. Yeah, that's how the algorithm works around here. You want to have a conservative outlook or a centrist outlook? You're playing on extreme difficulty, my friend. No. No subscribers for you. Not unless you're already been established before we even set this algorithm up. And guess what? I wasn't established yet. I was not established yet. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait a bit longer. I'm going to wait a little bit longer. Elections started coming up here in the U.S. And I decided, you know what? Fuck it. Why not? I'll throw my voice into the ring. I'll throw my voice into the mix. Get a little bit political. Made 2 videos talking about the election, talking about why Trump needed to win, why Trump had to win. Then my stepdad went into the hospital. At first, he went in, he came out in a week and a half, I think it was, 2 weeks. And what had happened was there was a chemical spill at work. And he had inhaled too much degreaser fumes. And, he got sick off of that. Well, after that, he went back into the hospital about a week later, I think it was. And they said that he had signs of COVID and signs of, possible heart attack. So they shifted the COVID stuff to the side and said, we're focusing on the heart attack problem, just to see what was going on. Well, because of the restrictions, we weren't able to see him too often. And, during one of the operations, they found an ulcer had burst. And, they gave him as much blood as they could before trying to figure out why they couldn't sew it back shut. It's where they couldn't close it up, and ultimately he got free of COVID. But instead of coming home, he went close by into the nearest hospice house, where he bled out within 24 hours. He did not die of COVID. He did not die with COVID in his system. He was tested negative before he was moved to the hospice house. But they still put COVID on his system, on his death certificate. But they still put COVID on his death certificate. Now, that right there is a problem for me. Because my family knows he did not die of COVID or with COVID, but yet it's on his certificate. While he was in the hospital, my mom had said that regardless of his choice, we were going to move from our home there to my grandmother's house. And we were going to do it slowly, and it would take probably like a year or two. And so I decided, you know what, okay, everything's done and over with politics, so I just decided to take the last 4 videos, which was 2 videos on COPPA, 2 videos on the election, and privatize them. Yeah. So I just said, you know what, my next video will be my comeback. I'll figure out when I need to come back soon. Well, I finally figured it out. And what I was going to do is, once everything got moved over, until we found a seller, I was going to stay with Deep Creek Subs. I was going to be just, basically kicking back and, taking the silence of the house and doing what I needed to do to record as much as I possibly could and come back and make that comeback and be back, be better than I was. I mean, I had so much running through my head. It's not even funny how much I had running through my head that I wanted to do, that I was going to do. Then we had a small electrical fire. And thank God that it was just 4 outlets that got taken out. And it was just a small contained fire that put itself out. We didn't even know about until we had an electrician come a couple of days later and show us and say, hey, by the way, yeah, you had a small electrical fire. It put itself out though, so you're fine. It scared my mom so bad that within a week she filled out paperwork with a certain company, the Buy Guys, and we had 30 days. I let my ex-boss know, and we crammed everything we could in and grabbed a U-Haul and got everything moved over. Been here since August. I want to say July. End of July. Because on August 6th, my mom signed the final paperwork. The final set of paperwork. If I can talk right. My mom signed the final set of paperwork that's officially sold off our old house. And we've been here since. As for a job, I took a month to myself to kind of, get my bearings, decide whether I wanted to come back here on YouTube or wait until after I found a job and it kind of established myself a little bit before coming back. And second part is what I did. I found Wendy's over here, which is literally less than 2 minutes from my house. And yeah, been here since. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it. It's been kind of a wild ride. I mean, especially with last month, we lost my grandmother. And yeah, it's been one of those things. Well, no, it wasn't last month. It was May. It was in May. So it was 2 months ago now, by the time y'all are watching this. Yeah. Now, I had been planning this comeback. These next 6 videos, I had been planning since November of last year. I had been planning for January or February of this year. I have been planning it, 100% planning it. And, nothing came about it. I mean, January came and went, February came and went. I had something planned for March, I called it March Madness. 30 days of, card openings, shorts, and then on day 31, I was going to do a full video, which you'll see later. You won't really know it until you start hearing me start talking about the shorts and how I think that this might be a short, this card pack might be a short, or this card pack might be a short, something like that. I think it's like video 3 or video 4, I can't remember, but yeah, I decided on doing that, and then it just came and went. And then I kept buying cards, but just didn't feel right, putting out a video yet. Then when my grandmother passed, I started realizing I'm going to have to get back into YouTube. I'm going to have to try and work the algorithm into my favor, so that way I can get a little bit of extra money to help out my mom, since it's just me and her now. And yeah, here we are today. Well, me yesterday, you today. Yeah. And 35 minutes later, I've given you a pretty wild ride of a story, huh? Now, one thing that I usually do with update vlogs is I let you know the direction that this channel is going into. Now, obviously, I'm going into trading cards. Oops, that's the code. Trading card games. You know what? Free code card for anybody that wants it, that sees it in this video. It is backwards, so that QR code's not going to work. So you'll just have to mirror it and find out what the code card is. Anyways, so what I'm going to be doing is tonight at 6 p.m. you're going to see video 1 of my comeback. And yeah, you're going to see video 1. Tomorrow, let's see, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, you're going to see, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, because tomorrow for me is Friday, so that's the 1st. Yeah, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You're going to see 1 video each day. Now, for those days, they're going to be going up about 9 or 10 a.m. And then on day 6, you will see 2 videos like today, one at 9 a.m. and one at 6 p.m. The one at 6 p.m. is going to kick off what I am calling Christmas in July. Now, I am officially dubbing this Christmas in July because, because in Christmas in July, I am going to be opening 24 packs of Pokemon cards from these 2 booster boxes. Now, what packs they are, wait until day 6 to find out. Now, here's the thing. Those 24 days are going to be shorts. Nothing but shorts. They're going to be uploaded on at noon as shorts every single day for 24 days from day 7 until day 30. On day 31, I will be opening up the rest of the packs in those booster boxes. You heard me. I'm opening up the rest of them in a full video that I will be doing sometime in the next couple of days. But right now, all you need to worry about is up until the 30th. Because up until the 30th, well, that will be the last of the videos that I'll have pre-recorded. And on day 31, well, let's just say that will be the last video that I do until anywhere between the first Monday of October, which was coincidentally my birthday, October 3rd, and let me see, October, November, December, the first Monday of January in 2023, which is going to be the 2nd. There we go. Had to get my calendar back on my computer. So, with that, yeah, this update is gone on long enough, to be completely honest. Now, I will be coming back with games, mostly through my Xbox, but also, let me tilt that a little bit. If you can't see it right here, I finally got a Switch. So I am going to be adding that to my repertoire. I am going to be nuzlocking a little bit more. I am going to be doing more card openings in the future. I may do a actual 25 Days of Christmas, just shorts, with Astral Radiance and what's the other one? Brilliant Stars. I may do just like 12 packs of each, and then the 25th I will be doing a big gigantic video. I don't know yet when my full comeback will be. I do know that it will be that, and then on 26th to the 1st I will be taking off no matter what, just to have that week, you know, with family. And then on the 2nd, no matter what, I will be back for sure. Now, at the same time, March Madness, I will be doing shorts. Christmas in July next year, however, will be only 24 days of shorts and then a day of full card pack openings, depending on what's out at the moment. I don't know what yet. So, yeah. Anyways, so I am going to go and get the day 6 video finished. The second for the day 6. The 6 p.m. day 6 video. I'm going to go get that finished now. And I will see you guys between October and January 1st. Between October of this year and January 2nd of next year. I will see you guys then. So, thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening to Storytime. And, yeah. With everything going on, I found a new hunt. And for those of you that follow me just for these, well, happy hunting.